开始了。女士们、先生们，大家下午好。欢迎出席国务院新闻办今天举办的新闻发布会。
Welcome to today's press
今天国务院
conference.
新闻办公室发布
Today we are to release the white paper on energy in China's new era.
同时举行新闻发布会，介绍解读
And brief you on the relevant information of this
出
white
席今天
paper.
发布会的有
Today
国
we
家发展
have
改革
with
委
us
党组成员、国家能源局局长张建华先生、
Mr. Zhang Zhenhua, Administrator from the National
国家
Emergency
发展改革委秘
Administration.
书长赵振新先生、
Mr. Zhao Zhenxi,
国家能
Secretary
源局
General of
法
the
制和体制改
NDRC,
革司司长朱明先生。
and Mr.
我是国务院
Zhu
新闻办公室的新闻
from
发
the
言人
NDRC, and I myself,
首先我就
Hu
白皮书
Kaihong
的主要
from
内
the
容做一个非常
Information
简单
Office
的
of the
介
State
绍。
Council. Now I'd like to give you a brief
新时代的中
introduction
国
of
能
this
源发
white
展白皮
paper.
书深入贯彻习
The
近
white
平
paper
主席
entitled
关于能源发展的
Energy
一
in
系列
China's New Era
重要论述，全面介绍
has
中
been
国
following
贯彻
the
世贸革命
remarks by General Secretary
能源安
Xi
全战略
Jinping, that is to advance reforms in 4 major eras and advance overall international cooperation. It has also documented China's historic achievements in energy development, as well as China's commitment to green energy development, as well as the efforts towards building up a community with a shared future for mankind. It is composed of a preamble content and
俄西阿日等8个语种发表
a conclusion released in 8 different languages, released by the foreign language press and the Renmin
这
press.
些情况，下面我们有
So
请
this is my brief introduction. Now I'll give the floor to Mr. Zhang.
张建华先生做介绍。
女士们、先生们、朋友们，
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends,
很高兴
good
在这里
afternoon.
与大家见面，
It's a great pleasure to be here
发布和介绍
to release
新时代的中国
and
能源
brief you
发展。
on the white paper entitled Energy in China's New Era.
真诚的感谢大家
First of all, I would like to
对中国能源
thank
事业
you
的关心。
for following and supporting our work.
党的18大以来，
Since the 18th National Congress
国
of
务
the
院新时
CPC,
代的发展要求
President Xi, with his keen understanding of the development need of the new era,
一个
has
合
put
作
forward
能源
the
安
new
全新战略，
energy security strategy,
亲自指导
which
推动
features
能源的消费革
reform
命、
in
能
energy
源的供
consumption,
给革命、
supply,
能源技术革命、
technology,
能源体制革命，
and institution,
全方位
as well as
加强国际合
the
作，
efforts in overall international cooperation.
低碳，
We have been committed to building a clean, low-carbon, secure, and efficient energy system,
引领中国能源发展迈
which
入
has
全
led
新的
China's
高质
energy development into a new development stage
新时代的
of
中国
high
能源发
quality
展
growth.
白皮书。
The white
系统
paper we
介绍了
released today
党的
is
18
a
大以来
systematic
中国推
documentation
进能源革命的
of
历史性。
China's historic achievements
前面
in
阐
energy
述了
development
新
since
时
the
代
18th
新阶段
National
中国
Congress,
能源安全
as
发
well as
展
China's
战
major
略的主要
policies
和
and major
旨
measures
在让国内外
in
社会
our
全面了解中国
energy
能源政
development
策
strategy. The aim is to have people both in and out of China, outside
介绍
China, have a keen understanding of China's energy policy. The main content of the white paper
集中
are as
介绍了
follows.
新时代
First,
中国能源的发展战略，
on the strategy and policy of China's energy development in the
在
new
能
era.
源安全新战略的
Guided
形
by the
象
new strategy of energy security, we have advanced the reform in energy
坚
consumption
决
and
控
put
制能源
tight
消费，
control of the total energy
把技
consumption.
能贯穿于
We
经
bear
济
in
社会
mind
发展
energy
全
saving
过程，
throughout our economic
加
and
快形
social
成能源
development
节约型社
in a
会，
bid to
推动
form
能源供给革
at
命
a，faster pace an energy-saving society.
供应
We have advanced the reform in energy supply and made our supply more diverse and domestically driven, with non-fossil fuels as the main driver and coal, oil, and gas as the foundation.
驱动的能源供应体系，推动能源技术革
We
命，
have advanced our reform
以绿
in
色低碳为
energy
方向，
technology.
推动
Guided by green and low carbon
能
development,
源
we have advanced
产业创新、
the innovation in industry,
商业模式的创新、
in business
带动
model,
产
etc.
业升级，
for
推动
industrial
能源
upgrade.
体制革命，
We have advanced reforming energy institution to build an effective and competitive market structure and market system, improve the rule of law system for energy. We've also strengthened comprehensive international cooperation to realize energy security in opening up and jointly promote the sustainable development of global energy development. China has been committed to the philosophy of innovative, coordinated, green, open, and shared development. In our energy policy, there has been the following new features. First, people-centered. We have always put energy for the people front and center and strengthened the universal service of energy. Second, clean and low carbon. We have accelerated the transformation toward green and low carbon energy and increased the consumption share of clean energy and non-fossil fuels. Third, innovation as the core. We have accelerated independent innovation and advanced the breakthroughs in key technologies, as well as the coordinated progress in the industrial chain. Fourth, reform-driven development. We have established high-standard energy market system to further mobilize market entities. Fifth, a community with a shared future for mankind. We have deepened global energy governance cooperation, accelerates the reform and transformation towards green and low carbon development in a bid to build a beautiful world. Second, on China's historic achievements in energy development in the new era. Since the 18th National Congress of the CPC, China's production and utility of energy has undergone profound changes, and a stable and diverse energy supply system has taken shape. We have been advancing energy saving in an all-round manner, with an annual 2.8% growth of energy consumption. We have achieved an annual GDP growth of 7%. The share of clean energy in total energy consumption reached 23.4%, which was 8.9 percentage points higher than 2012. The total installed capacity of hydro, wind, and solar power ranked top in the world. We have also established a complete industrial chain of equipment manufacturing for hydro, nuclear, wind, and solar power, which strongly underpin the exploitation and utility of clean energy. The green development of energy has played an important role in the reduce of carbon emission intensity. In 2019, our carbon emission intensity was 48.1% lower than that in 2005, realizing in advance our 2015 goal of a 40 to 45% drop. Third, on our major measures to build a clean, low-carbon, secure, and efficient energy system, we have advanced the reform in consumption of energy and control both the total volume and intensity of energy. We have improved the laws and regulations, the standardization system, and the incentive policies to accelerate the building of energy efficiency in key areas and the clean energy use at terminal uses. In this way, we have accelerated the building of a diverse and clean supply system with priority given to non-fossil fuels and efficient and clean use of fossil fuels. We have improved the peak shaving mechanism for energy storage and transportation to strengthen our energy security. We have made technology innovation as the primary driver in innovation and established a diversified and multi-tiered innovation platform. We have conducted coordinated development of innovation to support new technology, new forms of business, and new models for scientific progress in our energy sector. We have comprehensively deepened the reform of energy institution to build an effective and competitive market. We have improved a market-based pricing mechanism for energy. We have deepened reform of delegating powers, streamlining administration, and improving services in a bid to further improve the rule of law system and regulation mechanism of energy. Fourth, on the role of energy in poverty alleviation and the improvement of people's livelihood. We have put the improvement of people's livelihood, especially people living in poverty, as the top priority for our energy development. To that end, we have bolstered the support for energy construction in rural poor areas. We have advanced the upgrade of power grid in rural areas, bring electricity for industrial and commercial use to everyone in rural areas. We have redoubled our efforts to bring electricity to everyone in a 3-year plan of action. By the end of 2015, we have bring electricity to every single one in China, which is a historic accomplishment. I still remember I brought it up last year during the press conference. Geographically, we have devoted more resources in energy development to rural areas to support local economy. We have conducted major projects such as the photovoltaic for poverty alleviation to increase the local people's income. We have also actively advanced the clean heating in rural areas in northern China during winter to improve environment quality at the one hand and people's livelihood on the other. Fifth, on the new landscape of international cooperation on energy, we have stayed committed to opening up in the energy sector and constantly reduce the threshold for foreign investment. For example, in 2019, we have lifted the restriction of foreign investments in oil and natural resources exploitation and development. Following the win-win principle, we have conducted comprehensive international cooperation on energy and advanced the building of a green Silk Road. We have actively participated in the global energy governance and joined hands with countries around the world to deal with climate change. We called on the international community to make joint efforts to work towards green and low-carbon development and support multilateral cooperation in energy. We also call on the rest of the international community to keep the international energy investment and trade smooth and work for more energy accessibility for less developed areas in a bid to advance the sustainable development of global energy and the global energy security. We hope the release of this white paper will help you gain a better understanding of China's efforts in transformation towards green and low-carbon development, as well as China's contribution to the global endeavor against climate change and towards sustainable development. Last September, President Xi Jinping, when attended the general debate of the 75th United Nations General Assembly, announced that China will strive to peak its CO2 emission by 2030 and strive to achieve carbon neutrality by 2060. In December, when attending the Climate Ambition Summit, President Xi further announced that by 2030, China will lower its CO2 emission per unit of GDP by over 65% from the 2005 level, increase the share of non-fossil fuels in primary energy consumption to around 25%, and increase the total installed capacity of wind and solar power to more than 1.2 billion kilowatts. This has set new benchmarks for China's energy development. We will take greater resolve and more measures to advance our reform of energy and accelerate the building of a clean, low-carbon, secure and efficient energy system. Such efforts will help us build a beautiful China and make even greater contribution to a clean and beautiful world. This brings to the end to my introduction. Thank you very much. Now, my colleagues and I are ready to answer your questions.
Thank you from CCTV. My question is that as energy security is getting more intricate, how would China balance between energy security and transition to carbon and low carbon and clean development? China has become the largest producer of energy in the world. At the same time, China is also the biggest consumer of energy in the world as well. As the cause of socialism with Chinese characteristics entering a new stage, to ensure high-quality economic and social development, we must ensure efficient supply of energy and quality supply of it. In particular, as the global low-carbon transition is picking up speed, we are facing new challenges and situations in energy security. As I mentioned just now, that President Xi Jinping announced that China will strive to peak its CO2 emissions by 2030 and strive to achieve carbon neutrality by 2060. By 2030, we will increase the share of non-fossil energy in primary energy consumption to around 25% and bring its total installed capacity of wind and solar power to over 1.2 billion kilowatts. This has set a clear timetable for us to build clean, low-carbon, secure, and efficient energy system. We will study the new energy strategy and accelerate the transformation while maintaining security and properly manage the planning and coordination. First, we will strengthen clean coal mining and utilization and intensify oil and gas exploration and exploitation. We will accelerate the building of a production, supply, storage, and sales system for natural gas to provide basic supplies. Second, we will accelerate the development of non-fossil fuels such as wind power, solar power, and biomass energy. We will replace high-carbon energy with low-carbon energy and replace fossil fuels with renewable energy. Third, we will take the building of a new generation information infrastructure as an opportunity to advance the digital and smart development of energy. We will accelerate the intelligence of the whole industrial chain of energy and ensure that energy supply and demand will reach a new balance and increase the efficiency of the whole energy system.
谢谢主持人。北京日报记者提问。
From Beijing Daily, since 2013, China proposed to win the battle against pollution, in particular air pollution. So what are the achievements in our efforts for energy conservation and pollution reduction? And what further measures will we adopt? I will refer this to SG Zhao from NDRC. Thank you for your question. You mentioned the battle against pollution and against air pollution. Yes, indeed. The CPC Central Committee, with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, bear in mind the central task of our country and the expectations of our people, has made this important strategy. According to the decision of the CPC Central Committee, the NDRC, together with other departments, have a focus on energy conservation in energy development and have adopted a series of measures to cut pollution and save energy. And we have seen good progress in this front. And I'd like to elaborate on it in 4 areas. First, the energy-saving goals have been strengthened. We continued to place the per-unit GDP energy consumption as a compulsory target in performance evaluation, and we have adopted a dual control system of total energy consumption and energy intensity. And we also use energy conservation to drive development. Second, we have improved the legal system for energy conservation. We revised the energy-saving law, formulated the energy efficiency signs, and rolled out a series of plans. We have rolled out as many as 200 standards in this area. The legal standard has played a guiding role. Third, we focused on key areas energy-saving efforts, and we have accelerated the transition to green development and adopt green construction standards. The rate for new energy vehicle ranks the first in the world, and we also give into play the demonstrating role of energy conservation. Fourth, we've improved the energy-saving mechanisms, and we adopted a host of market-based measures with supporting measures in taxation, pricing, and fiscal policies. We also rolled out pilot projects. In this white paper, we've given a set of numbers. I will not spell them out one after another. All these numbers have shown that in recent years, we've made progress in energy conservation and pollution reduction. Administrator Zhang also mentioned this in his briefing. All these have helped improve the ecosystem and is conducive to sustainable economic and social development. Going forward, we will continue to implement the idea of environment-friendly development vision proposed by President Xi Jinping and implement the spirit of the 5th plenum of the 19th CPC Central Committee and realize the goal of carbon dioxide peak and also neutrality. First, we will continue to improve the dual control system, and we will continue to enhance the system to ensure efficient allocation of energy and resources. Second, we will continue to roll out standards and the supporting policies to achieve the peak at an early date. Third, we will focus on those energy consumption units to accelerate the application of energy-saving technologies and accelerate energy saving in key areas and enhance the energy efficiency in new infrastructure development. We will develop the carbon market and create a social environment of energy conservation. Thank you. I will give you a set of numbers to help you better understand. Between 2013 to 2019, the per unit GDP in China have reduced by 24.4% in total, which means that we have saved 1.2 billion standard coal, saving 2.7 billion tons of CO2 emissions. This means that we have supported a 7% growth of GDP every year with 2.8% increase in energy consumption. From Shenzhen TV. Recently, in Hunan, Jiangxi, and other regions have introduced measures to restrict electricity use. So, is this related to China's policy of energy conservation and how to balance these two aspects?
I'll give the floor to our Secretary General. Thank you. First, let me talk about the increase of energy demand. We have been following this figure recently as part of our annual work. The recent statistics show that due to the fast growth of our industry and climatic factors, there is an overdemand of electricity. Since December, in Hunan, Jiangxi, the electricity demand has registered a rapid growth among top in the world. According to statistics in Hunan, in the first half of December, the demand increased by 19.8% month-on-month, nearly 20% growth. A few days ago, the largest electricity load reached 3,144 kilowatts, which is about 1 million kilowatts higher than the previous high. As for figures in Jiangxi, the demand was increased by 18.4% month-on-month, still a rapid growth. The largest electricity load reached 26.31 million kilowatts. If you have been following such figures, you will see that usually the peak would be during summer. However, the figure in Jiangxi is still higher, about 500 to 600,000 kilowatts than their summer peak. In Zhejiang province, in the first half of December, that figure increased by 9.2%, ranking among the top in eastern provinces. Such high demand has increased our demand for coal. And as for the price of the coal, you will see that there has been some increase recently. However, according to our statistics, the stock of coal for power plants can be guaranteed. So please rest assured. Up to now, we have maintained stable supply of electricity. In Hunan, Jiangxi, and Zhejiang province, the electricity for people's daily life has not been affected. Yet faced with this rapid growth of electricity demand, the NDRC and the National Energy Administration has been working with relevant departments to take active measures to ensure the supply of electricity in a stable and orderly manner. In Hunan and Jiangxi, as they are far away from the coal production area, their quick accessibility to electricity has been affected somehow, and therefore they have been key areas for our energy supply in winter. So, faced with the recent situation, governments in those areas have anticipated such difficulties and take effective measures to reduce a certain amount of electricity for industrial and commercial use for a balanced supply of electricity. This has helped to maintain the order and the stable operation of the electricity system. As for the situation in Zhejiang, it is a bit different from Hunan and Jiangxi. In Zhejiang province, the electricity supply can meet the demand for the whole province. There is no lack of electricity within the province. In certain regions of the province, local authorities have restricted the use of electricity. So this is the general situation I would like to tell you. For details, the NDRC will gradually release more information in response. Moving forward, the NDRC and the NEA will continue to give guidance to local electricity authorities and other energy companies to coordinate their response to ensure adequate supply of electricity and power in winter. First, we will enhance power generation capacity. Second, we will diversify our channel for coal supply. We have instructed Shanxi, and Inner Mongolia, while ensuring security, to organize and mobilize their production of coal. At the same time, we will coordinate the settlement of transportation issues for coal. Third, for regions that do have difficulties getting coal for electricity, we will take a scientific approach to ensure local people will not be affected by the lack of electricity. So please rest assured, we will ensure the stable supply of electricity. We have the capability to do so. Thank you very much.
From China Daily. The white paper says that since 2012, China has advanced the Belt and Road Energy Cooperation, and it has achieved many results. So what are the new measures for BRI Energy Cooperation? Guided by the Belt and Road Initiative, the Energy International Cooperation has achieved fruitful results. A number of major energy cooperation projects have been implemented, and energy cooperation has improved their multilateral and bilateral mechanisms. There are increasing exchanges of technologies and energy policies. This has played a positive role in promoting economic and social development in BRI countries. The COVID-19 has added uncertainties to the global economic recovery. Many countries have adopted green development policies to boost the post-COVID-19 economic recovery. At the same time, the global clean energy transition is picking up speed. In face of the new situation and the challenges, we will follow the principle of extensive consultation, joint contribution, and shared benefits, remain open, green, and clean, try to achieve the high standard, people-centered, and sustainable goal to advance BRI international cooperation on energy in a pragmatic manner. First, we will take an active part in global energy governance cooperation. We will remain open and inclusive to build BRI Energy Cooperation Partnership and advance energy mutually beneficial cooperation. We will strengthen cooperation with regional organizations and conduct joint research and exchanges. We will continue to work with international organizations and multilateral mechanisms and engage in diversified energy cooperation and exchanges. At the same time, we will advance high-quality energy cooperation projects. We will get deeply involved in global energy transition reform and study and advance cooperation with relevant countries on nuclear power, wind and solar power, smart grid, smart energy, and connectivity, and look at green energy and green finance, and adopt policies to increase these two aspects. And we will advance multilateral and bilateral cooperation projects. We will promote trilateral, multilateral cooperation to forge a chorus on BRI energy cooperation. From Xinhua News Agency. In recent years, wind power and solar power and other new energies are growing fast, but there are some challenges in accommodation of energy. So what are the major measures in this field? Thank you for your question. I will refer this to DG Zhu. Thank you for your question. This is a very important question. In the 13th five-year plan period, the biggest challenge is this accommodation problem. And in the 14th five-year plan period, we will face both accommodation and also utilization of energy. To solve this problem, we must accelerate the building of a new power system adaptive to the development of renewable energy. First, we must accelerate the building of a allocation and transaction system and also operation system for smart power grid and advance the development of flexible HVPC transmission system and adopt and implement the local smart grid and microgrid and other technologies. We must accelerate cross provinces and regions pathway building and leverage the role of internet. Second, we must advance the transformation of those traditional coal-powered plants and also advance the pumped power storage, peak load management, and other flexible measures, and build a variety of models. And third, we must unleash the power and potential of consumption demand and enhance the smart supply of power. At the same time, we must improve the institutional guarantee for the accommodation of renewable energy. First, we must clarify the responsibility of this and incorporate the responsibility into laws, so it is legally abided to accommodate the energy. Second, we must incorporate this responsibility into the evaluation system of local economic and social development. Third, we must innovate accommodation, regulation, strengthen regulation, innovate models, and improve market mechanism to set up a long-term mechanism for clean energy development and accommodation. Fourth, we must strengthen green electric certificate transition and carbon market building to enhance the value of renewable energy. Let me add a few points. In recent years, in the past years, we cannot address the cost of renewable energy. So the country have helped its development. But after years of development and thanks to the advancement in technology, we have addressed the problem of cost. So in the future, we will not give subsidy to the development of renewable energy. Now the biggest problem is to accommodate it, how to consume it. And DG Zhu has briefed you on the set of measures. Actually, it is quite challenging. And by 2030, we will have 1.2 billion kilowatts. Now it's only 4.6. So there is a long way to go. From Hong Kong cable TV, you mentioned that the electricity restrictions in Hunan and Jiangxi. And today we learned that in Guangzhou there is also a power shortage. Do you mean that such restriction measures will be applied to other provinces? And the plants in Jiangxi, do you have a timetable for those plants to get started again? Thank you for your question. It's fair to say that the power supply of China is guaranteed, and what you've mentioned is only individual cases. So generally speaking, the energy supply and the electricity supply will have no problem. We've seen the energy shortage of natural gas and power in the past, and in recent years, we are building a system for the production, supply, storage, sales for energy. So what are the effective measures we have adopted for the building of such a system, and what are the results? Thank you for your question. And Mr. Zhang mentioned this system, and you just captured this important point. Yes, indeed, in recent years, especially the last 1 year or two, according to the decision by the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi at its core, we must advance the building of such a system. And by building this system, we have enhanced the supply capacity of energy. My observation is that the building of such a system is a systemic course covering many areas. It is difficult for me to answer all of them in such a short period of time, so I will focus on the points of your interest. For example, the coal, electricity, oil, and natural gas, and what we have done in these areas and what are the progress. On coal, first, we have made great efforts to advance the supply side structural reform to optimize the supply and production of coal. We've made steady efforts to cut excessive and low efficient capacity and increase the use of the small-scale coal development. And second, we've streamlined the transportation route for coal. The Haoji Railway has been put into operation, and some main trunks for coal transportation are making good headway. There are specified railway for the transport of coal in major harbor, industrial parks. We are developing multimodal transportation for coal. And the coal storage capacity has been enhanced thanks to the efforts made by central and local governments and enterprises. A number of large-scale coal storage bases are under construction. We said that there must be corporate responsibility storage. So this has enhanced the storage capacity. Fourth, the market mechanism building is also gaining speed. We've set up a long-term and mid-term mechanism. This has served as a bedrock for coal supply, and we've set up a transition center which is up and running. The market mechanism is improving. So the four aspects have summed up what we have done in the building of such a system in recent years. In the area of electricity, first, we've enhanced the production capacity of electricity. Administrator Zhang mentioned that, generally speaking, we are fully capable of providing electricity. There will be efficient sufficient supply, and we've set up a mechanism for hydropower, traditional power, solar power, wind power, such a diversified form of a supply system, and we are shifting toward clean development. And renewable energy is growing rapidly. The share of non-fossil fuels is increasing in primary energy consumption, and also the grid resource allocation capacity is growing notably. The system's peak shaving capability is increasing, and the electricity growth is shifting towards high-quality development. The peak shaving system is also improving, and we've seen progress in relevant technologies. Industrial application has been upgraded, and on the consumption side, we've seen growing capacity in management. The consumption of energy is increasing rapidly. The demand-side management is also moving forward. Electricity consumption is shifting toward high-quality development, and the market-based reform is also moving forward. The mechanisms and institutions are improving. In the field of oil and natural gas, first and foremost, we are advancing the increase of storage and production. In recent years, the NDRC and NEA are making a lot of efforts to stabilize the input and also enhance exploration and exploitation. Second, we have keep the import stable, and we've strengthened international cooperation and diversify oil and gas import, and advance the development of the oil and gas pipeline and connectivity. The north part and the mid part of such pipelines are under construction. Third, we are advancing the storage facilities development, and we've set up a system with government and corporate and companies all playing a role to enhance the oil storage and encourage the capacity building of oil and gas companies and also local governments in keeping the fields. Fourth, we have kept improving the market system. As you may learn from the news that at the end of December last year, we've set up a oil service company to provide diversified oil and gas supply. And the lower stream, we will have a full competition. So we'll set up such a well-designed market, and we've enhanced regulation and regulate market order, which will ensure benign competition. All these achievements have proven that the building of such a system is the right direction, consistent with China's reality, which is productive. So going forward, we will continue to move towards this direction and take solid measures to implement all these decisions. Thank you. Last two questions. Thank you from CGTN. Administrator Zhang mentioned that we will achieve a carbon neutrality by 2060. This has shown China's determination. So what are the obstacles standing in the way for us to realize that goal? Thank you for your question. The fifth plenum of the CPC Central Committee have proposed that during the 14th five-year plan period, we will aim at high-quality development. And in the recommendation, it is clearly said that have clearly set out the major tasks of advancing energy reform and building green and low-carbon development, building smart energy system, and building smart, green, modern infrastructure to implement the spirit of the fifth plenum and advance high-quality energy development. We will focus on the 6 areas in the 14th five-year plan period. First, we will enhance energy security. We will accelerate the building of a diversified and secure energy supply system to ensure the balance between energy supply and demand, and open up wider in more areas and at deeper levels to realize energy security while opening up. So the first point is to enhance the supply capacity. Second, we will focus on accelerating the transition to clean and low-carbon energy. In 2019, the share of non-fossil fuels took up 15.3% in total energy consumption. In the 14th five-year plan period, by the end of this year, the share of non-fossil fuels will reach 15.8%. During the 14th five-year period, we will continue to innovate the development models and accelerate the development of clean energy and make the growth of non-fossil energy and natural gas the bulk of increase in energy consumption and enhance the proportion of clean energy consumption. By 2030, we will reach around 25% of non-fossil fuels. So this is a demanding task, which means more than 20% will be non-fossil fuels. Third, we will build a smart energy system. We will accelerate the upgrading of a smart energy industrial chain and build the demonstration projects of smart energy and advance the development of new models and new businesses of energy in line with the advancement of technology. Fourth, we will roll out projects to the benefit of the people. We must meet the new aspirations of our people for a better life and continue to strengthen energy infrastructure development and enhance the electric level in urban and rural areas and enhance people's consumption of energy in their production and lives. In recent years, such a level has increased rapidly. However, compared with the number of developed countries, the personnel consumption, the per capita consumption is quite low, is 730 degree. Whereas in Europe, that number stands at 2,000. Fifth, we must deepen energy reform. We will advance electricity and oil fuels market-based reform. We must set up high-standard energy market system, deepen the government reform to delegate power, streamline government administration, upgrade service, and enhance regulation to further energize the market. Sixth, we must improve the legal system on energy. We must advance the formulation of the energy law and also the revision on the electricity law and renewable energy law, and improve and implement the new energy security strategy and advance the clean and low-carbon transition of energy. So I've mentioned the 6 priority areas of our work, and there are a lot specific work remain to be done. Last question. In recent years, in northern part of China, we are advancing the development of clean energy. We've seen productive efforts in this area. However, some people say that clean energy is quite expensive and it's not that efficient. So, going forward, what are the new measures in clean energy development?
Now give the floor to Mr. Zhu Ming. The NEA and the NDRC has been earnestly implementing President Xi Jinping's instructions on advancing the heating work in northern China, and we have improved relevant policy in this regard to ensure a warm and safe winter for our people. First, we have formulated the 2017 to 2021 plan for the heating in winter, which has been very effective. Second, before winter, we have been doing the planning and arrangement for heating work. We held relevant meetings and coordinate the transportation of coal and other work, as well as the regulation and supervision of heating work during winter. Third, offer central fiscal support to conduct pilot programs in northern areas. We have conducted 3 batches, altogether 43 countries, in altogether 449.3 billion yuan in this regard. Fourth, we have established a mechanism to reduce the clean heating price to make it less expensive, and enhanced the renovation of grid work. We have organized power grid companies to conduct coal to electricity transformation and ensure smooth transformation before winter. We have also ensured adequate supply of natural gas. First is the central sector of China-Russia pipeline and other key projects. Such efforts have laid solid foundation for our increase of natural gas supply. Second, we have ensured the better allocation of natural gas for people's daily use. And we'll also take a holistic approach to make balanced distribution of natural gas to ensure a warm winter for our people. That's the end of today's press conference. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.